times a week.
You get tired of it?
No. Because it's my favorite part of the bookstore.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
We're doing a little construction, but my favorite part is recommending books to you. So, talking Lincoln. All right, so you mentioned Melancholy. Did you read Lincoln's Melancholy? Have you read that?
I haven't. I don't know.
If you have, okay, so this is this is Lincoln Biography of a Writer. Have you read that one?
I have not read this
Okay,
one.
so that's like just looking at him as a writer, which is of course he's an amazing writer.
Yeah.
And he wrote all his speeches down, so it's him as like a thinker. But this is my favorite one.
This is a good one.
President Lincoln. You read that one?
I've read
Okay,
that
that one's incredible.
That one's so good.
Lincoln's Virtues by Miller is also very good. But have you read Lincoln at Gettysburg?
I have not.
Okay, so like my favorite factoid about that one, there's more pages in that book than words in the Gettysburg Address. But like his basic argument is that Lincoln is making we think of Gettysburg as this like inspirational speech.
Of course.
But it's actually a legal argument in which he subtly redefines what the war was about, like right in front of everyone's noses.
Right.
Right, like everyone thinks they're fighting to keep the Union together. And he's writing, actually no, he's saying, no, that we're dedicated to this proposition that all men are created equal, and that's what we're on this battlefield.
He redefined it.
Yeah, Will's argument is that most of the people who died at Gettysburg would not have agreed before the speech that that's what they were there for.
Right.
And in fact, many of them were probably explicitly against that.
Very opposite.
But like he's doing this beautiful thing of, in a lawyerly way, of just redefining and then proving in the address that, hey, no, we're actually here.
Right.
And that is sort of it becomes sort of a second founding document. But it's, if you can see it as a legal argument from a lawyer, it makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, I can tell he's framing his argument.
Yeah.
How awesome.
I mean, he doesn't mention Gettysburg. He doesn't mention any of the people who fought there. He doesn't mention anything about the battle at all. It's just an argument as to why they're there.
That's incredible.
Yeah, and the guy that spoke before him, to your point about like they just let them do all the talking, and then the guy before him gave a 2-hour address.
And here comes Lincoln.
The prayer was longer than the Gettysburg Address.
Jeez.
And so it's also this mastery of, I think probably as a lawyer too understands, like juries get tired. They don't want to hear from people. Like just lay it out.
Even long prayers.
And so his point of like that it's so short, I think his mind is also, how do you print this in a newspaper?
Right.
Like, so is he speaking to the 5,000 people at Gettysburg? No, he's speaking to us now, right? Like it's this masterful sort of foundational document, and he's seeing it that way, and that's one of my all-time favorites.
These are awesome. This is the Team of Rivals.
Team of Rivals, of course, incredible. Her book Leadership is really good.
Yes.
Because it's sort of a best of all of them.
Yeah, I haven't read it, but I know she has it.
I'm interviewing her next week, actually.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Oh,
okay, this is an obscure legal book I think you would like, which is...
and you've read all of these, I think.
The premise is that they're all books that my wife and I have read and loved,
right.
as opposed to just any book.
Are you just a speed reader?
No, I mean, this is over the course of a life. I didn't know, read these all yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm looking for Furious Hours.
There it is.
Okay, Furious Hours. So, after Harper Lee writes To Kill a Mockingbird, she doesn't write for a very long time, but she has this idea for a book. She wants to write about this preacher in this town in Alabama, who is murdering family members to take the insurance money. And she goes to write this book, and so half the book is about the case.
Okay.
Like about it's like a true crime book about the true crime, and then the other half is about her and writer's block and how she never ends up publishing this book, but she moves to this town and she goes to the trial every day. And she's gonna write a book about it, but she never does. But it would have been an incredible book if she had.
Wow.
Because she doesn't get enough credit. She was Truman Capote's like collaborator on In Cold Blood.
Oh.
Because they were childhood friends. Like he's Dill in To Kill a Mockingbird.
Is that right?
Yeah, they're childhood friends.
I didn't know that.
And so he's fictionalized in that book.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's nuts. So that one's super good. I think you'll like that one.
I like this. These are all great books.
Yeah, that's the idea. It's only hits. All killer, no filler.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
How
you doing?
You had Chris Voss on recently, right?
Yeah,
Chris
Chris is fantastic.
Yeah, and then I saw you interviewed Charles Duhigg, super communicative.
Yeah,
very good.
He's awesome. I love these. And I also like Robert's
amazing.
book. He's just a really cool guy. And then Sahil's came out.
Have you seen?
I have not. Is this the 50 cent edition?
No, that's the 50th. That's the 50th. Well, that was the first book. I was a research assistant, but this one. This is like the 25th anniversary edition of 48 Laws of Power. So it's like Machiavelli on this side, and then Machiavelli on this side.
I see what he did.
And then Robert on this side.
That's what you have.
It's my favorite. It's pretty cool.
That's awesome. Do you nerd out on books now? Like when you like look at the
now
the covers and like all that stuff?
Yeah.
Because I've been through that process now of like what it really takes to build a cover.
Choices.
And, yeah. Sure. And you don't think about like just the white space, the font,
or you have ideas like I want to have color pictures. Or
exactly.
Whatever. Like, no,
you published yours first when you were like what, 22, 20?
My first book came out when I think I wrote it when I was 24. It came out when I was 25.
That's crazy.
Trust me, I'm lying. Down here. I actually do. So this is my only related, loosely related to the law book.
The Sapiens is good.
This is Mental Conspiracy, which is about so Peter Thiel is outed by Gawker, which is this gossip website, and he finds this horribly offensive and doesn't like them, so he decides he's going to destroy them. But instead of suing them, because what they did to him was perfectly legal, he searches out cases where they have done things on the wrong side of the law and funds them because he's a billionaire. And so they run a sex tape of Hulk Hogan, and he sues them for $100 million. And he tells Hulk Hogan and the lawyer, he's like, I'll pay for whatever. He looks for plaintiffs to take these cases with the idea of slowly bankrupting them. And so the Hogan case goes, and like at every step of the way, Gawker's trying to settle, and they can't figure out why why Hulk Hogan is not settling. And it's because the one condition of taking the case was that you have to take it to a verdict. And so which is like, it's like breaking the legal system. At every step of the way, both parties should be incentivized to settle. And Hogan not. And eventually they win $140 million. And it bankrupts the company. And
now there's definitely people who weaponize that.
Well, what he realized, so the big sort of moment in the case is he realizes that he deposes, like, basically it's this gossip website, and they've sort of broken the system, which is they realize that they can basically say anything they want about anyone because you never sue a media outlet, because it just makes the case more popular. And they almost always have more money than you do, right? And so he's going to starts pursuing the case, and he gets the CEO and the editor. The CEO, the company's been around for like 15 years. He gets them into deposition. The first question of a deposition is, have you ever been deposed as part of a lawsuit before? And he goes, no. And then he realizes, nobody's ever gotten this far before. And that's why, so they seem invincible. They're actually not invincible. Just no one's ever challenged them in any way. So they weren't following the rules. They were actually very reckless because they thought they were invincible. They weren't.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's a great story.
It was a crazy, weird book to do.
This is a great list, man.
I'm trying to think. What else do you like? What else are you into?
Tell me. I'm curious. I've always been curious about your coins. Just how that kind of came to be for you.
Like in the military, they carry like challenge coins. So it's sort of based on that. But
you just have that idea of just, what I should do?
Well, so in a lot of like Renaissance art and churches and stuff, they have like memento mori, like the reminder of mortality. And I was like, you'll see it'll be like a philosopher at his table, and he has a skull there. I was like, it'd be cool to have some kind of like memento mori
table
something. I was like, I'm probably not going to buy a skull. And I was like, what if I had like a challenge coin, like I could carry a challenge coin? So that's where the memento mori one came from.
That's cool, man.
And that was like, I don't know, 8 or 9 years ago.
That's
and
awesome.
it was like, I was like, well, let's just make like 500 of them.
Yeah.
And that'll pay for me to have one.
Right.
Like I'll just
yeah.
And then we've sold like tens of thousands. It's been crazy.
Yeah,
you want one?
Like incredible. I'd be honored.
Which one? What do you want? So we have.
Which one? Whatever you think kind of captures our talk.
Our talk. All right. Can you give me a 4 virtues one?
I've also been following this Daily Dad stuff, dude.
Oh, thank you.
I really like it a lot.
That's my.
Is that like your passion project?
Yeah, I would say so.
In a good way. I mean,
Yeah,
like,
no,
that's
totally.
just- yeah.
No, totally. Like it's my.
Our kids are pretty much the same age.
Yeah, I would say it's made me much better writing it, and so if
Really?
it sells one copy, then great.
Right.
But like in writing it, I have to always say the stuff to
Yeah.
myself over and over.
Oh, of course. And do you ever like find, because I know you travel, and I
Yeah.
travel like with my kids,
Yeah.
that something will happen and you're like, I need to remember that
course.
thought, I need to remember that
Yeah.
little.
All the time. We yeah. Oh, here. This is the four virtues.
That's cool.
That's
That's awesome, man.
So the four virtues of Stoicism are courage, discipline, justice, and
Yeah.
wisdom. And that's what
Those are great.
I have this one here, but
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't care
Yeah, I
about
recognize
one, but-
that. Yeah, man. This is so impressive.
Yeah.
What an awesome life
Well, thanks.
you've carved out, man. It's great. And you're in Bastrop.
Yeah.
I love it. When I found out you were in Bastrop, I was like, what?
I thought the exact same thing when I found out you were in Beaumont.
Yeah, I know. But that's why I was like, no, I'm not coming to Bastrop without bringing my boots.
There we go. We gotta take a picture. I read a lot. It's sort of my job. You can't write without reading. For almost 15 years now, once a month, I send out an email with my favorite book recommendations for that month. Books that I've been reading, books that I've been going through, books that changed my life, that inspired me, that I think connect to what's happening in the world. And you could sign up right now at ryanholiday.net/reading list.